Hey guys, Wages World here. It is March 9th, 2020, and I'm coming at you with a video. And the main reason, guys, is this California earthquake. It was off the coast, and we're going to talk about that here. Plus the CV update and some pretty crazy looking captures off a cactus that Scott shared with me a little while ago. And I want to show them to you guys because it's pretty crazy stuff. Okay, guys. Again, main reason I'm doing this is because of this earthquake. I was going to wait till the morning to do a video, but there's some things I want to show you anyway. So, anyway, this was off the coast of Northern California. So when that happens, first thing we think about is tsunami. So you just click on that. You click on the little wave tab right there, and there's no tsunami warnings right now. So they're not, at this moment, they're not expecting anything like that. This was up towards the Cascadia subduction zone. So that always makes everybody's butt pucker when that happens, okay? Because once that thing decides to slip, the whole West Coast will be redefined. I'll just put it to you that way, without going into some big explanation of what everybody thinks would happen. Now, you can go into some more detail here, too. We can click that, and it gives you a map. It's actually right there, man. I mean, you see that fault line, right? So, yeah. Yeah. When that happens, man, we don't like to see that kind of stuff. That's a pretty decent one to have one right there. So, take that for what it's worth. But, that is what's going on with the earthquake stuff. And, so yeah, we'll move on to the other stuff here real quick. Alright, guys, official numbers. We're about 110,000 worldwide. The United States is at 554. And, again, these numbers are nowhere near the right numbers, okay? I'm not even going to go into why. I said it so many times now. But we are going to talk about this. You know, the 554, we actually jumped up ahead of Japan, at least officially, on the amount of cases we have. But yeah. So, just, yeah. But then you got this. Okay, this is CPAC chairman where he was shaking all our leaders' hands. And he had been exposed to somebody that had this virus. Right? You know, all the way up to Donald Trump, guys. Okay? Now, you got to ask yourself, how does that happen? Was it pure ignorance, or was it done on purpose, or was it this, or was it that? What's going on here? All I can tell you is, I don't care who is sitting in that Oval Office. We have to protect that person. You know, that is what we do here, guys. So how does it get to him like that? It's not like it was airborne. This is something, he was physically touching this guy that was exposed. Now, it doesn't mean that anybody's got it or whatever, but Ted Cruz was one of the guys that shook his hand, and he's self-quarantining. So we got major Republican leaders all the way up to and including the president being exposed to this directly from somebody that was exposed to it somewhere else, right? So, you know, put that for what it's worth. Plus, the Pope thought he might have had it. How does it get to people like that? You got to ask yourself that. Because there's so many other things put in place to keep that from happening. Where does that fail? And why, at this time, is it doing that? During such a big thing. So, yeah. Then you got this. Okay, this is what we were kind of talking about the other day as far as the economies. Our Dow's going to open up about 1,000 points lower. It's the biggest plunge since the Gulf War in 1991, almost 30 years ago. Just keep that in mind. That is not good. You know, people were trying to say, hey, we're on a bubble, and I even said it, and we were. But at this time, did the bubble pop and it just slowly leaking, or is it just something that's getting squeezed out real fast? Who knows? But, yeah, we can go on down here and talk about this some more, too. The people that were over in Italy, some of them got flown back home here and are able to, be quarantined over here. Then you got this. The CDC says we've only tested like 1,583 people since January. I was like, what? And just like, what? Really? And there's a whole lot of reasons they try to give you here and all that kind of thing. So you can believe whatever you want to believe on that. That is just something that we're never going to know the answer to all those questions. It's just not going to happen. They won't allow it. So yeah. And something else, guys. A chest CAT scan can diagnose this. There was a doctor about 3 weeks ago that went on all 3 mainstream media channels and talked about that. Okay? He even showed the signature, somebody that had it in their lungs, because it presents a lot like pneumonia. So they're able to diagnose this without the so-called test that they're making right now. Now, how fail-safe is any of that? Who knows? But at the end of the day, that did happen, and nobody talks about that. Because that's not something that, it's not a test that they have to swab your nose and all that. And I get that you can't take everybody that thinks they have this and give them a chest CAT scan. You can't do that. Number one, it's so expensive. Number two, it would take so much time. It's crazy. So, yeah, I get it, but at the same time, I don't. So, yeah. So there's your update on that. I'm going to move on, guys. This is just so depressing sometimes to read this kind of stuff and report on it. Alright, guys. Scott caught this today and made a video on it. You guys need to go check it out. But this kind of speaks for itself. There's not a whole lot of things I need to say about this. Again, this was back on the 3rd. Sometimes Cactus is slow getting this data back up onto their system so we can see it. But, yeah. I don't know what you would call that other than a spherical object. That's most definitely what it looks like. Then we got some zoomed in pictures. Now what struck me about this is that it didn't distort when we zoomed in. So that means it was pretty much that shape. Whatever was there, it was that shape. And that's just kind of how I feel about it. So, Anyway, guys, I think I will go ahead and end it there, guys. I'll try to come back tomorrow with another update, but just keep your head on a swivel. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Stay prepped up as much as you can. I'm not telling you to go overboard, but I would say at this point that we probably need to have a few days of food in our houses. So that's what I would say, at the very least. So, yeah. God bless. Yeshua saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.